The episode 7 trailer just dropped, and I need to be completely honest with you. Things are looking absolutely dire for the boys right now. After that insane episode 6 ending, most of us have been sitting here running through every possible scenario in our heads, and no matter how you slice it, the math is not mathing in the boys' favor. Homelander has the V1. That means the soup-killing virus, the one weapon Butcher spent this entire season building his entire strategy around, is now completely worthless against him. And if the power upgrade theories are correct on top of that, we are not just talking about an unkillable Homelander. We are talking about a stronger, faster, more durable, completely immortal Homelander, going up against a team where half the members don't even have superpowers. The other half have abilities that barely scratch him on a good day. And the moment that really hit different? Watching Butcher, the most stubborn, relentless, never-say-die person in this entire universe, look into the camera and just say, "Run." That one word told us everything. Let's break down what the trailer is showing us and what it means for episode 7.
The trailer opens with Homelander standing in the main room of the Vought Tower, that iconic space where the Seven used to gather, and he is completely alone. And when you actually stop and think about it, that tracks perfectly. Who is even left? Soldier Boy is around, technically. The Deep is still breathing for now, but that is genuinely it. Firecracker is gone, Sister Sage walked out, Black Noir died last episode. The Seven as a concept no longer exists. What makes this so chilling is that in every previous season, there was always someone in Homelander's orbit who at least occasionally pumped the brakes. Someone whose presence created a sliver of friction. That friction is gone now. There is nobody left to question him, nobody left to advise him, nobody left who could even theoretically slow him down. He is operating in complete isolation at the top, fully immortal, fully powered up, and answering to absolutely no one. A contained Homelander is terrifying. An unleashed, unchecked, immortal Homelander with zero accountability and zero company? That is a different category of nightmare entirely.
The trailer gives us a significant amount of footage focused on the Deep, and that alone is a red flag. In this show, when a character suddenly gets a lot of screen attention in a trailer heading into the penultimate episode, it usually means their story is wrapping up. The Deep has made it further than most of us expected, and the show has never let him off the hook for who he truly is. A deeply selfish, irredeemable person hiding behind comedy and charm. But here is the detail that caught my eye most in the trailer. There is a shot that genuinely looks like he is drowning, and I mean actually drowning, struggling, going under. This is a man who moves through water the way most people walk down a hallway. The ocean is supposed to be his home, his domain, his one safe place in a world that has rejected him everywhere else. So how is he drowning? My theory, the fish are done with him. After the massive oil spill last episode, and after Jeremy the fish's dying accusation pointing directly at the Deep, the ocean has turned against him. The creatures he always claimed to love and fight for have decided he is responsible for the deaths of billions of their kind, and they are coming to collect. He may escape Homelander, he may escape Vought, but I genuinely believe the sea is going to be what finally takes him out. And honestly, for a character like the Deep, there is a poetic cruelty to that ending that feels exactly right.
One of the most important things the trailer gives us is Butcher's energy. He and Huey appear to be in some kind of investigation room, which is interesting because you would expect anyone captured by Vought or Homelander's regime to be immediately thrown into a cell without a second thought. The fact that there seems to be some kind of confrontation happening in a more open space raises questions about who exactly has them and what the situation actually is. We also get a glimpse of the dog-powered character we first saw back in Gen V, and it looks like he has gotten his teeth into someone nearby. Whether that is a guard, a soldier, or someone else entirely is hard to tell, but the violence around Butcher and Huey is escalating. What matters most, though, is what Butcher is actually saying in the trailer. Listen to the tone, listen to the words. This is not a man who has accepted defeat. The core message coming through every line he delivers is clear. Yes, episode 6 was a disaster. Yes, the plan is gone, but Butcher still has something. He talks about dragging them over the finish line if he has to. That is not despair talking. That is someone who has already started working on the next move. And I think I know what that move is: enriched uranium. It is the only thing we have ever seen do real, meaningful damage to Homelander in this entire show. That uranium chamber that Soldier Boy trapped him in. Butcher was there. He witnessed it. He knows what it did. If there is no virus, if there is no other weapon left on the table, then weaponized uranium becomes the final card to play. Finding a source for it will not be easy, but Butcher has never let difficulty stop him from doing the impossible. I think that is exactly what he has been quietly working on in the background, and it is why he is not fully broken yet, even when everyone around him is ready to give up.
One blink and you miss it moment in the trailer shows those powered individuals we first saw back in episode 2, the ones who were running with the rock-powered guy. And they appear to be cutting through what looks like a press conference or public gathering. The crowd is wearing what looks like Homelander merchandise, those red hats that have become a symbol of his regime in this universe. Here is where it gets complicated. At the end of episode 2, let one of those characters walk away, and the exchange between them felt like the beginning of something. It seemed like they were on decent terms, like a mutual understanding had been reached. But then the trailer also shows in a direct physical confrontation with her in episode 7, so something shifted between that moment and now, and figuring out whose side these people are actually on going into the finale is one of the more interesting unresolved threads hanging over this episode.
There is a shot in the trailer of Homelander standing over what appears to be a large map, clearly studying it with intent, and this raises a question that the show has been building toward all season. We know Homelander wants to be worshipped as a god, but what does that actually look like in practice? What is the endgame of a man who is now immortal, politically untouchable, and militarily unstoppable? Does he start eliminating anyone who refuses to kneel? Does he attempt to purge everyone he considers beneath him? Does he expand beyond America entirely? Because there was a promo shot from earlier in the season that appeared to show Homelander in space, looking down at what seemed to be an obliterated country below him. If that image is connected to episode 8, then the scale of what Homelander is planning is genuinely global. Episode 7 might be the setup for us to understand exactly what his vision of a world under his control looks like, and Episode 8 delivers the full catastrophic reality of it.
Two appearances in the trailer stand out beyond everything else. First, Sister Sage, and she is shown standing next to Frenchie, which confirms that she has fully crossed over to the boys' side. We also see her doing that thing where she deliberately dulls her own intelligence, using it as a coping mechanism to quiet a mind that never stops calculating. After what happened in episode 6, after Soldier Boy's move blindsided her completely, proving that even she could not predict every variable, she is dealing with something she has almost never experienced before: failure. Real, humbling, ego-crushing failure. For the smartest person alive, that is going to hit differently than it would for anyone else. The second appearance is the one fans have been waiting for all season. Marie Moreau finally shows up, and her arrival matters enormously. If they had saved her for the finale, introducing her power set in the final episode alongside everything else would have felt rushed and unearned. Bringing her in at episode 7 gives her room to establish herself before the endgame. She is not going to solo Homelander. The showrunners have been very deliberate about managing those expectations. But what she can do is be a devastating force against the powered soldiers and regime enforcers surrounding him. We saw in Gen V what her blood manipulation is capable of. She put an entire group of superhumans on the ground almost simultaneously, just by controlling what was inside their bodies. That kind of ability, used strategically against Homelander's army, could be exactly the kind of support that creates the opening the boys need.
The final moment of the trailer is Homelander in the Oval Office, alone, calm,
smiling like a man who has already won. This shot has been circulating since the very first teaser trailer dropped 4 months ago, and a huge portion of the fan base convinced themselves it was the final image of the entire series, Homelander standing victorious as the show's last frame. The Episode 7 trailer placement now confirms that is not the case. This happens before the finale. My read is that this is how Episode 7 opens or peaks. Homelander removing the president, likely permanently, and formally installing himself as the ruler of the United States. And if America falls that completely with no institutional checks left, the question of what stops him from going global becomes very real very fast. That space promo shot suddenly looks a lot less like creative imagery and a lot more like a preview of where Season 5 actually ends up.
Here is my honest assessment going in. Episode 7 is not going to be the massive, explosive action event. That is being saved for the finale, which is receiving a full theatrical release in 4DX. Nobody's going to a movie theater to watch people have conversations. The finale is going to be the spectacle. Episode 7 is the gut punch before the storm. What that means is that Episode 7 is where the emotional damage happens. The character deaths, if they are coming, and that episode title naming Frenchie, Kimiko, and MM directly makes it very hard to feel optimistic, will likely arrive here. It is also where the final plan comes together, where the last remaining pieces of the resistance align, and where we get just enough hope to carry us into the finale, believing that maybe, just maybe, there is still a way out of this. But it is going to cost something significant to get there. It always does. Drop your biggest theory for how this all ends in the comments. I want to know what you think is coming. And if you are not already subscribed, now is the time. The final episode coverage is going to be something else entirely. See you there.